Hi, my name's Leanne. I'm a pro makeup artist for Kryolan. Today I'm going to be creating a really gorgeous beachy makeup using all of our sheer products. Summer season is coming, so I'm going to go through a range of products that are going to be beneficial to use during the summer season, especially when the weather starts to get quite warm and humid. And if you do already live in quite a humid climate, then this is going to be really helpful just to kind of pick out the products that are going to be great to wear for a day-to-day no makeup. So first of all, I'm just giving my skin some really good hydration. I have got really dry skin anyway, but especially when I do sit in the sun, I tend to find my skin gets slightly more dehydrated. So I am going to just make the skin look really glossy already by using the Ultra Under Base. It's my favourite primer. It's a water and silicone emulsion, so it really helps just to hydrate the skin and just make the skin look really fresh and glossy. So don't put too much on because you don't want to overload the skin, just enough to hydrate your base. After my Ultra Under Base, I'm going to work with the Shimmer Event Foundation. This is one of my favourite products, especially if you just want to have that real kind of beachy, glossy skin for the summer. You know, everything when you do your makeup in the summer, you want it to look as natural as possible. You don't want it to feel too heavy. So this just adds a little bit of colour to the skin, and it also gives you a gorgeous glow. You can use this on the face and you can also use it on the body. So if you're wearing shorts or skirts and you want to have your legs a little bit more glossier, it's beautiful. This is in the shade Golden Beige, so it has a little bit more warmth to it. If you're slightly more fair-skinned, then I would say use Pearl. And if you're slightly more warmer or darker, then I would use Gold or Bronze. And it just gives you that gorgeous finish to your skin. So to complement the Shimmer Event Foundation, I'm going to start working with the HD Micro Foundation Cream, which is this one. It's stunning because it's super light on the skin. It feels like you're wearing absolutely nothing. And if you are going to be in warmer, humid climates, you don't want the skin to feel too overdone with makeup. So this is great just to even out the pigmentation and redness on the skin. If you find that you need more coverage, if you do have a slightly more pigmented skin, then you can also combine your Dermacolor Camouflage Cream. So you can always put that down as a base first, just to conceal and correct, and then you can go on top with your HD Cream Foundation. And I've gone for a slightly warmer shade. This is 260. And it's just to give my skin that really kind of summer glow. The gorgeous thing I like about this foundation, it doesn't overcover the skin. So like the little bit of redness on my nose, I actually quite like that in the summer because I like it to look like the sun's just literally kissed me, and it gives you that really gorgeous summer glow. So you can also use it for contour. So I am going to actually work from a different palette just because I like a slightly warmer colour. Now the contour I'm going to use is Tan 5 from the Ultra Cream range. And I love the Ultra Cream foundations as well because you can have them slightly more sheer. They are a medium coverage foundation, but if you find that you want something that gives you that hint of colour, but isn't again too opaque, you can sheer these down with just using a smaller amount. You can also mix makeup blend with your foundations. That helps to really kind of take the product down and stop it from being too heavy. And you can also mix your Shimmer Event in with that as well. To conceal under my eyes, I'm going to use the Brush On Concealer. So this one is the Ultra Brush On. These I love because they self-set, so they're perfect for underneath the eye. You don't have to over powder. Whenever I'm trying to do a summer skin, I don't like it looking too dehydrated from overusing powders. So this just saves that from happening. This is in shade 3, so I'm using it more just to balance out my skin tone. If you do want to brighten and lift, then you do have number 2 and 1 that you can mix in, but I'm going to use 3 as my base to start with. It has a really gorgeous kind of peach undertone to it, so it's really good as well for correcting. I'm then going to go in with my 8923 Blue Masters brush and just blend out any of that product. So if I just want to pick up and highlight slightly underneath my eyes, I'm going to go in with shade number 2. And summer skin should always look really, really bare and quite natural. Of course you want to be covered, you want everything to look really even and clean, but ultimately all your products should be sheer and translucent if you're trying to achieve that no makeup look. As long as it's got good pigment, you can build that. For my eyes, I'm going to start with a base from the V5 palette of TV Brown, which is this one here. I like to use this shade a lot for contouring, bronzing. It just has a really gorgeous warm undertone, and it just allows you to build a natural base to your makeup. Some browns, when you're doing transition colours or if you're doing any contouring, they can either be a little bit too dark or they can be overly warm, where if you're doing more of a natural no makeup, you want it to look as soft as possible. So my base, I already have a little bit of illusion there, so that's really kind of gripping onto the eyeshadow quite nicely. If you don't have anything on your lids and your lids are quite oily, I would suggest then to use the eyeshadow primer. It's silicone base, so it really helps to stop any of the oils from moving your eyeshadow throughout the day, and also allows the pigment from the shadow to grip. So using the brush 8908 from the Blue Masters range, I'm also going to take it just underneath the eye as well for balance. This is the thing, even if you want to look like you're wearing not too much makeup, you still want your eyes to have definition, and you still want your skin to look really gorgeous. So it's all just about building up in fine layers and working with the right colour palette. Then on my lids, I'm going to work with the satin powder in SP331. I love these satin powders. They're just a really gorgeous loose pigment. You can have them quite intense, so the more you build, the stronger they'll be, or you can just use them as a really fine wash. And this one's got kind of like a peachy tone to it, so it ties in really nicely with the colours that I've used on the rest of my skin. And there are so many colours to choose from in the satin powders. There's something there for everyone's complexion and occasion. They're just so pretty though. They really look nice. You can see it everywhere in the camera. So what I'm going to do now is go in and just define my lash line. So I'm just going for one of the darkest browns within the palette, so between these two. So this is the V5 palette that I'm still working from, and I'm just going to really work as closely as I can to that lash line, and this will just help make the lashes look a little bit more fuller, and it just adds a little bit of a background and structure to the eye. And And if you feel like you need a little bit more definition, then you have the option of using a face liner as well in number 20, which is a really gorgeous chocolate brown. So you can do either pencil then powder. I like to do powder then pencil, just because I feel like the powder gives it a little bit more of a softer base to lay on. Otherwise you find you can end up having, you know, the pencil a little bit too harsh. So for my brows, I'm literally just going to go through and use the brow forming gel. It's completely clear, but it's great just to brush up the brows. Again, I don't want to add too much definition to my eyebrows. If you are someone that needs a little bit more shape and definition, you do have the eyebrow palette, which is the powder palette, which is wax based, which is this one here. Mascara, I'm definitely going to apply a nice amount. I feel like if everything else looks really natural, the one thing I do really rely on to make my eyes look a little bit more larger and awake is mascara. So this is the Dermalite mascara, which is my favourite one from our range. It has really great buildability, just to build up the natural volume of your lash. Just to complete the eye makeup with finishing with the mascara, I also used the Rose Gold in the HD Cream Liner, and I just used that through my waterline just to make the eyes pop and look a little bit more fresh. I'm going to go in with the face liner in shade 20 that I used on my eyeline just to make a couple of faux freckles. I think that always looks really nice when you're trying to do more of a beachy summer makeup, just to make the natural freckles look like they're coming through. If you're someone that doesn't admire their own freckles, then of course you can leave this step out. However, I like to add a couple just because I think it makes the skin look really fresh. And you don't have to go too heavy with them, it can just be something quite subtle. And then I just go in with a clean blending brush and just diffuse them out slightly. And then to finish, I'm going to do a lip. So because I want to keep the look looking very natural, quite fresh, I am just going to contour the lip very slightly with the shade 35. It's a really gorgeous pencil just for a natural colour. So I'm going to use 36 actually, that's also a really nice colour. And then I'll just put a little bit of gloss on top. Again, you can go as heavy or as light as you want with that. It doesn't always have to be too defined. And then Crystal Rose, which is a really beautiful gloss from the High Gloss range, just to add that coat of shine. So that's our summer inspired no makeup look using all of our sheer products.